Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Saturday the 27th of March 2021. Bit of a weird story today in Millwall related news, and that's concerning Mahlon Romeo and his trip around the world to play in some football games for Antigua Barbuda. What it was surprising, and they had a game, I think it was on Wednesday, against Montserrat that was played in Curacao. It wasn't played in Antigua. But Mahlon was not in the squad, which was a bit confusing to everyone involved. And we were wondering, is he injured or is there something else going on? And it's gotten even more weirder now is all of the English-based players for Antigua and Barbuda have been denied entry into the US Virgin Islands, which is where they're supposed to be playing today, and they were sent back to Curacao. And this is COVID related, to do with the US government, because this is a US territory. And this is from Island Fans. It's a kind of independent news service for Caribbean island sport. And they say the Antigua and Barbuda senior national men's football team will play against the USVI, it's US Virgin Islands, in their CONCACAF World Cup qualifier on Saturday without the services of their England-based players and coach. This after the four England-based players, Joshua Parker, Callum Gerardi-Martin, Zane Francis Angol and Mahlon Romeo, along with England-based coach Tom Curtis, were forced to return home after being told they would face a mandatory 7-day quarantine period in Puerto Rico on their way to the US Virgin Islands. Efforts by the Antigua and Barbuda Football Association to secure waivers in Puerto Rico for the players proved futile, according to one high-ranking ABFA official. In February this year, the US government placed travel bans on persons arriving from the United Kingdom, including England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. And it also says reports are the local governing body had been given assurances that the players would not need to quarantine once on the US Virgin Islands, but they were not allowed to board a flight to Puerto Rico as they had not been given a necessary clearance by the Puerto Rico authorities. This means that an all-local cast will lead the country's fight against the USVI on Saturday night. Antigua and Barbuda played to a 2-2 draw with Montserrat in Curacao on Wednesday. Additional reports are that one other player in Eugene Kirwan, assistant coach Lenny Hewlett, and equipment coordinator Danny Benjamin were also denied entry by the Puerto Rico officials. And why is Puerto Rico getting involved? Puerto Rico is getting involved is because it's hard to find out, but I think they either manage customs for the US Virgin Islands, or the players had to fly through Puerto Rico to get to the US Virgin Islands. They're both American territories, and US Virgin Islands is to the east of Puerto Rico, I believe. And if you don't know, Puerto Rico is a very dodgy place. A lot of palms out looking for backhanders. They had the hurricane there. Was it last year or the year before? The US government sent them loads of aid, and then the mayor and all that, the governor was saying like, you didn't send us nothing. You're not helping us. And then all the press, of course, jumped on Trump saying, "Oh, what a month say he's not helping these people." But it turns out they found out like a year later, all the stuff that they sent was in a warehouse there. There's very dodgy people in Puerto Rico in the government. Very dodgy people. So I think that's what we might be seeing here. Maybe they were hoping for a little kickback, little greasy palm, but it seems that Mahlon Romeo has travelled halfway around the third world for no reason at all. This is from AntiguaNewsroom.com, and this is from a couple of days ago. It says Benin Boys players stuck in Curacao. It says 7 players of Antigua and Barbuda national football team are stuck in Curacao. According to reports, the 7 English-based players of the delegation were barred from the charter flight which took the delegation from Curacao to the US Virgin Islands for the team's second World Cup qualifier on Saturday. Antigua and Barbuda Football Association General Secretary Rohan Hector told the local TV station the 37-member delegation had been given prior approval to travel to Curacao and US Virgin Islands for the 2 opening games of the campaign against Montserrat and US Virgin Islands respectively. However, the decision was taken by federal officials in Puerto Rico who administered the airspace in US Virgin Islands to bar the 7 members from travelling. This is in line with COVID-19 safety protocols for Britons travelling to US territories. Hector says the decision of the federal authorities superseded the previous clearances given to the entire delegation by border officials in the USVI. The assistance of World Football's governing body FIFA has been enlisted to broker a resolution to have the 7 allowed into the USVI. Even as time is running out ahead of Saturday's match against the USVI, Hector remains hopeful the players and coaches who remain ensconced in their hotel in Curacao will be given a green light to join the rest of the delegation in St. Croix, which is the capital of the US Virgin Islands. He says he is also confident in the team already in the USVI in the event of frantic efforts fail in brokering a resolution. So there you go. So they're not even flying to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico manages the airspace for US Virgin Islands, and the US Virgin Islands told the Antigua authorities, yeah, it's fine, you can just fly into US Virgin Islands, but when you submit the flight logs and all that, you submit it to Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico stuck their noses in and said, whoa, these players are from England. And apparently they were told that they would have to quarantine for 7 days before doing anything. So they were flying in on Thursday to play a game on Saturday. That's 2 days, that's not 7 days. So here we go. This is from the AntiguaObserver.com. It's the Daily Observer, the big paper in Antigua and Barbuda. It says FA head hopeful all players will compete in the US Virgin Islands following issues at main port. That's him there on the right, Hector Everton Gonzalez. It says amidst confirmation that a number of players were barred from entering Puerto Rico ahead of Antigua and Barbuda's pending World Cup qualifier against the USVI senior men's team on Saturday, President of the ABFA, Everton Gonzalez, said on Thursday that the body is in talks with the Puerto Rico officials. In an interview with Observer Media, Gonzalez said that the issue developed after the ABFA had been assured that all players will be cleared to enter the country. The ABFA can only handle the footballing matters. As you know, we are only humans, so any matter that the ABFA can handle, then you can rest assured that the ABFA, in conjunction with CONCACAF and our various partners who support the ABFA, can address so that the players can rightfully compete, then we will ensure that that is done, he said. The former national striker also revealed that it was only after the players in question had landed in the US Virgin Islands that the federal government informed the delegation of the change. There have been reports of other national teams facing similar issues, with a number of Grenada players being denied entry into El Salvador for their match that was slated for Thursday evening. On Wednesday, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin Boys and Montserrat played to a 2-2 draw in Group A of their CONCACAF FIFA World Cup qualifiers held in Curacao. Gonçalves congratulated the team on their performance. These players have not played competitively for over a year. I assume that's because their league got cancelled and they haven't started again, I guess. Because I assume they're amateurs over there. No offence. And they were taking on a team comprised of all English professionals, and they have done well. From what I am gathering, they could have won the match, but in all, a splendid performance by the entire management team and the ABFA, who would have gone through a difficult time to prepare the team, he said. And then they go on to talk about the 2-2 draw in Montserrat. So this game seems like a complete balls up. So they've flown into the US Virgin Islands direct, but Puerto Rico are managing the airspace, and when they've landed in the US Virgin Islands, then the federal officials in Puerto Rico have told them, no, you have to beat it. And I think they've sent them back to Curacao, which is... It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, we don't know. I'm trying to find out as much as I can, but it's a lot of these countries, they don't work on the internet, or I can't get into their internet from my thing. But the time here is wrong. It's actually, so the game is tonight. It kicks off at 11 o'clock, I believe. Not 10 o'clock as it says there. This is from the FIFA.com website. I'll see if the teams are up now. This is live as I'm doing it now. The teams, oh, here we go. No, the lineups are not out yet, but so when the lineups come out, they should have been out by now. It's an hour before the game. Game's supposed to kick off at 11 o'clock, I believe. Maybe midnight, I'm not too sure. So we'll find out then, I guess, if Mahlon Romeo or any of the other English players are involved, or they've been sent back. Maybe Mahlon Romeo's sitting in his gaff in London, having a cup of tea or hot cocoa before getting ready for bed. I don't know, but what a strange situation that's happening right now. That's it for Millwall News today. See you tomorrow.